Chapter 5, A New Element. Finally, radium! They discovered radium, Willard! Sorry. All right. So now, I think when we see Sayo here, what we're really seeing is Yasu, or Yasuda, as we've been informed. But now kind of growing into that role, rather than the version of themselves they were looking up to when they originally started there. At age 6, someone pointed out that, like, yeah, they were 6 when they started here. Of course, Shannon's not. Yeah. So.
Did you check the bathroom amenities?
Yep, went down the whole list.
Did you make sure they were facing the right way when you set them down?
Yeah, of course. Everything's on the list says.
Thanks. Genji-sama, the guest rooms are ready now.
Good work. Make sure you check over everything with your own eyes, Shannon. Also, Madam has ordered us to change the tablecloth in the dining hall once again. my. Why again when we all worked so hard to change it earlier today?
Oh no, did we have another incident?
She did not say whether or not it was an incident. What kind of thing would necessitate them cleaning up this? Like a chapel incident? That would definitely require them to clean the tablecloth afterwards, I'm just thinking. Right? Like, you don't... Do you use that tablecloth again? I think you can wash it probably, right?
Yeah, it
like,
might be
sure
fine.
It's fine. God, like
get a little bleach on there.
It'd just be it'd be a waste to, you know. like I said, the candy's still in the wrapper.
The tablecloth is
still
fine
usable.
Egyptian cotton. The color of that tablecloth simply does not fit. Once I saw it against the backdrop of the room, I could see that it matched terribly. We should use a different tablecloth. Oh, and did you make sure to clean the chandelier in the parlor? I don't want Ava-san looking up and saying, oh, is that dust? And even a spider web. Again.
Do not... Oh my god, this is like one of 5 times we see the surprised Genji sprite. It's basically a cryptid. Do not worry. It has already been carefully cleaned and checked. I will now perform a final check on everything myself.
Is that so? Very well. I will also check everything over at the very end. Shannon, take the young servants and prepare a new tablecloth. Try and find something white with a bit more of a clean feeling. Yes, as you wish. Natsuhi was even more high-strung than normal and walked about barking orders here and there. Even though the sky was beginning to get dark, the servants moved hurriedly about. Tomorrow is the annual family conference.
So this is at least 3 ago? Because the portrait went up 2 years before, right? If I'm remembering my timeline correctly?
Probably. I don't know if we for sure.
Okay, we're either way, we're a good distance removed.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, someone in the comments can correct us on the exact time. I believe it's somewhere in that frame. So we're farther away.
It isn't particularly rare for each of the individual families to visit the island, but this is the only time that they all come together. It was the most important day of the year for both the Ushiromiya family and Rokkenjima. Natsuhi, who was short-tempered on top of being high-strung, kept ordering that the servants redo this or that since it really didn't look good after all. This would keep them going until late into the night. Now that Shannon had many years of experience and Natsuhi had put her in a position of responsibility, she was called over many times to have strict orders showered on her. So, when Shannon finished her shower and lay down on the bed in the servant waiting room, she fell asleep almost immediately.
Weird that they're using her room at Fukuin as also the servant waiting room. I don't know if I'm supposed to read into that or not, but I'd noticed it, so. Anyway.
I can hear the sound of wind coming from somewhere far away. It's a bit different from the sound wind outside a room would make. It's almost as though I'm sitting in a deck chair in the rose garden, turning over in my sleep, with the feel of the wind in my hair. That's right, the feel. This isn't a sound, it's a feeling. Then is this a dream? Just as I was about to accept this theory, I thought I heard someone talking to me. This is gonna be Beatrice.
Is this gonna be either that or Virgilia? I don't know. Go for it. Just take it away with Beatrice. I'm sure that.
My. It seems the work of a servant is just as boring as it ever was. Not only boring, but difficult, strict, constraining, joyless. All you get in return for your years of service is some level of respect from the newer servants. And even that is far from sufficient to repay you for all the hard work you've done. Why do you not tire of this life? Huh? Who? She wasn't just imagining someone talking to her. She was shocked to find that it was real. When Shannon opened her eyes, she gulped.
Oh, hey, the Golden Land, which is purple.
This place. She couldn't say any more. She was literally stunned silent. Shannon, who had been sleeping on a bed, was somehow in a rose garden. However, though this rose garden somehow resembled the rose garden on Rokkenjima, it was also completely different. After all, the roses were golden. And it wasn't just the flowers, but the dancing butterflies too.
They're more of an apricot.
No, I'm pretty sure those are butterflies, not apricots.
Listen, are we really going to do this? I said apricot the color. You can get this from context. Come on.
It was a golden rose garden of mysterious beauty. Somehow, Shannon was sitting in a chair under the arbor. It was as though she'd taken a nap there and woken up from a dream. But it felt strange. Is this golden rose garden a dream? For some strange reason, it felt as though my entire life up to this point had been a dream, and that I had finally awakened here. Welcome, Shannon. Welcome to my golden rose garden. There was that voice again. Shannon looked around to find who it was. As she did, a golden butterfly landed on the seat across from her and instantly created a human form. It has been quite some time, Shannon. Have you been well? Of course, I know you have been. After all, I have been watching all of you every day. This woman laughed as though she was an old friend of Shannon's. However, Shannon obviously didn't remember this strange gold rose garden, and she didn't remember this person's face either. Indeed, you no longer remember me, do you? Have I forgotten about you? If so, please forgive me. There is no need to apologize. I made you that way, so it is no sin of yours. Let me introduce myself. I am the Golden Witch, Beatrice.
Who fucking isn't in this goddamn game? Sorry, I know I'm not in this chapter, but fuck, who isn't? Ugh.
Are you the Golden Witch, Beatrice? I mean, who isn't?
That's good shit.
Beatrice Sama, the benefactor of the Ushiromiya family, whom the master always speaks of?
You know, when it really comes down to it, aren't we all of us, a little bit Beatrice? Don't we all just have a little bit of Beatrice inside of us? Right? Well, I mean, maybe you more than others, but...
Not that, Beatrice. I am the Golden Witch, the one who rules over Rokkenjima's night. I am the other master of the mansion, the one you always pay homage to. You're Beatrice-sama? You need not fear. The two of us used to be friends. A long time ago. We used to be friends.
But I haven't thought of you lately?
No.
Wow, that worked out better than I thought.
No, roommates, did we not? At one time, I idolized you and tried to be the best servant I could.
Oh, so they're just making it explicit now. Okay.
I've always had a single-person room, so I couldn't have
I guess they expect you to keep up with this stuff pretty quickly now, right?
Yeah, you can pick these things up from context. When we last parted, I stole away your memory. However, I have not forgotten that we were once roommates. I also remember that I was the one who destroyed our friendship and left. So as not to leave you alone in sadness, I erased all of your memories and the very world of our days together. You do not need to understand. But believe this, I have not called you here to do you harm. Isn't this inside one of my dreams? You may think of it that way.
Velvet Room music starts playing.
I am thou, thou art I.
Shit. I can't do a good Igor voice, but welcome to the Velvet Room. He's got a very particular. I can't do anything near that.
Oh my God! Yasuda has the Fool Arcana.
He's got the
Yasuda
wild card.
has the wild card.
Oh my God! That explains everything.
Yeah.
There we go. Finally,
I am one yet many.
There you go.
Strictly speaking, I beckoned your soul to my garden while you were sleeping, to invite you to be a resident of this world. Beatrice snapped her fingers, and a storm of gold butterflies all rose up around the rose garden. As the cloud of butterflies danced over the table, a gorgeous tea set appeared. There were teacups and a teapot, more elegant even than those used by the Ushiromiya family. The tea was filled to the brim and had a sweet rose scent, one which Shannon had never smelled before. Before there was even time to be amazed by that scent, butterflies started gathering one by one on the table, and a tea stand sprouted right out of it. It was like watching a magical mushroom from a fairy tale kingdom grow out of the ground. It was a many-layered tea stand filled with beautiful cakes like edible jewels. Of course, there were also several lovely light brown scones. The honey truly was golden honey, with bits of gold leaf dancing through it. It seems the Ushiromiya family holds tea parties from time to time, but those cannot compare to mine. Incredible. I've never seen anything like this. Even if you did, it would only have been as a waitress. You are my friend. I need no waitress. After all, I am a witch. That is more than enough. Come, do not be shy. Stuff yourself to your heart's content. Thank you very much. That was all Shannon managed to say. It would be hard for anyone to say much more after being suddenly invited to such a beautiful witch tea party. Let us begin with black tea. The milk is fresh, and the sugar is so delectable that you'd almost want to eat it raw. But I recommend you try your tea straight first, with nothing more than a single rose petal floating on the top. It will surely be so delicious that you'll be unable to drink the black tea of the human world ever again. Then you can try your tea gay.
This piece of music is like I'm always astounded at like the breadth of the different styles and genres of music in this game. Like, I mean, they're all like based around like electronic genres, right? But like the various different intensities and styles and moods, there's It's very astounding to me.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Laughing happily, Beatrice opened not a sugar pot, but a rose petal pot, picked up a single crimson petal, and floated it on her tea after relishing its scent. Shannon did the same, picking up a single petal and smelling its aroma. It smells so wonderful. Is this really the scent of the roses in this world? I'm glad you enjoy it. I bred this rose simply for the purpose of using the petals with black tea. If you crush them, they're also splendid for making jam. That goes better with scones than anything else imaginable. Do you want to try? Sure, just a bit. Don't mind if I do. I've always wanted to just eat the flowers right out of the rose garden.
I don't think you should do that. That seems like that'll end poorly for you. Aren't roses poisonous?
I have no idea.
Huh.
Wait,
not poison.
Rose hip tea is a thing.
Yeah, okay, maybe.
I've drank roses.
I'm thinking of something else then. Ignore me.
Maybe some are, though. Shannon had been invited to this witch tea party suddenly. However, the witch seemed so truly innocent, and her smile as she played the hostess was so happy that it made Shannon want to smile too. The tension in Shannon's heart gradually faded, and she started to enjoy her chat with this witch. Servant work really is tiring. I remember it well, particularly cleaning the windowsills in the chapel. How surprising. So, you worked as a servant once, too. For a short time. You probably don't remember, but I worked alongside you. I was a clumsy fool who always lost things. You were my idea of a perfect servant and the person I looked up to.
Yeah, they really just expect you to, be on top of this stuff. Come be like, yeah. Come on, no, you can figure it out at this point, right? We don't have to hold your hand, do we?
That makes me even more sorry that I can't remember. There's no need for apologies. Here, you are not a servant, but my friend and guest. There are no inconveniences here, no trials, nor boredom. I can give you anything you desire. That is how much power I currently possess. I wanted to let you know that I have now reached that level. I'm truly grateful to you for welcoming one with so few redeeming features in such an extravagant way. Think of it as a reward for all the painful days you have withstood. Come, gold butterflies. Don't let my friend get bored. Show her a little dance. When you've tired of that, allow me to call the bands to perform any song you would like.
Okay. What's Shannon's mind playlist?
What's a good no thoughts head empty song?
Oh, I was gonna say Sophie.
Oh yeah?
No thoughts head empty music?
Yeah. What's the sort of song you would listen to when you were a dissociated identity created purely so you can stop thinking about your miserable life as a servant?
I don't know, but it was probably written circa 66 to 73 at the latest. Yeah, I feel like that's the right era.
Do 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 do.
I mean, that works too. You just like the elevator music.
When you have tired of that, my refined familiars will show you some conjuring tricks. Fear not, for time is endless here, and I can grant your wishes endlessly. My tea party has no end. In a truly good mood, the witch told Shannon several strange stories. They were all stories Shannon had never heard before. Very interesting stories, and they were all odd, bizarre fairy tales. Shannon felt as though she had become Alice in Wonderland.
And time. Have we had Alice in Wonderland before this point?
I don't know.
Did it really take until EP7 before we had the Alice in Wonderland illusion?
Props if true.
Yeah, right? Because it's another one of those ones where just like, it's The longer a game goes on, the probability that we get to it tends towards 1, right?
Some critically respected VNs can't get past the subtitle.
Put that on a scratch card with like it's that one. The allegory of the cave is one of them. Oh, Schrodinger's cat, right? There's a bunch of them.
The time she spent at this tea party was strange, pleasant, and relaxed. No, the clocks have no hands at this tea party, so the time passed like a Sunday morning, when you can wrap yourself in your blanket for as long as you want. I can't express how grateful I am to you for this. There's no need for thanks. In the human world, words of thanks go along with words of farewell, do they not? There will be no end to this tea party, so there's no need for thanks either. I'll still thank you. Thank you so much, Beatrice-sama, for this wonderful tea party. But all dreams must end, and so must this one. Oh, and why must they end? Because I start early tomorrow. If I stay here talking too long, I'll sleep in, and Madam will give me a good scolding. Why are you so anxious to return to the world of that short-tempered Natsuhi? Really now, are you truly saying you want to return to the human world where it's all work and no rewards? But I am human. I can't impose myself on you forever.
Could you give me an example of what being a human might be like?
I don't know. Detroit springs to mind for some reason.
You have to do it because if it's canon's running gag. I'm just saying, this is continuity.
Shannon, it seems that you do not understand. I invited you here, but I have no desire to chase you away again. Here, time is eternal. You are not obligated to say farewell, not ever. I will never tire of enjoying tea with you. On the contrary, it is quite agreeable to have you here to talk to. I'm grateful for your words, but I'm human. I must return to my own world. Why do you want to return to that colorless world where you waste all your time with school and your job and the family works you to the bone? Despite all that, it's still my world. Shannon, does that sort of world really need to be yours? Let me be honest with you. Shannon, I didn't just invite you here. I came to take you home. Take me home.
Country roads!
To the place I belong?
West Virginia! Come on, Leon, you know the words.
Once I tried to become a good servant like you. Then I became fascinated by witches and became one myself, learning all the pleasures of magic. And now I've come to take you home. Beatrice spoke quietly and slowly rose from her seat. Shannon, the world of witches truly is more fun than being a servant. This tea party is nothing more than a mere welcoming party for an old friend. We can hold as many fun festivities as we desire. That is the endless, the eternal. Now that this golden rose garden has been completed, I've reached my goal. This place is paradise. Yes, let us call it the Golden Paradise.
So the Golden Land is Yasuda's personal paradise?
Oh. It seems like the Golden Land hasn't been created yet. The Golden Paradise has.
I see.
Maybe. That's my take so far. Now that it has been completed, I've come to welcome you in. There's no need for any inconveniences, any perseverance or hard work. Aren't you tired of being nice? Don't you just want to go magical? Here, you and I can enjoy ourselves for all eternity. It'll be like a never-ending fairy tale. You can go witch mode.
Witch mode. No, we see what happens when people who aren't ready for it go witch mode.
I'm truly grateful for your splendid proposal. However, I need to go back to my original world. Why? Because this isn't my world.
All right, hold on. Dream of the butterfly coming in 5, 4, 3, 2.
I acknowledge it. This is not the world you've lived in until now.
Very particular turn of phrase. That's used often, especially towards the later half of the game when using red text. They'll be
I
like,
acknowledge it.
yes. I don't know if that means, but like.
That's why I have invited you here. From this point forth, this will be our world. You are no longer a guest. You're the second master of this world. You need show no restraint for my sake. We'll just live in this endless world like we once lived as roommates. I regret that I have no memory of that time. However, I'll have to turn down your invitation. Why? What responsibility forces you to return to the world of humans? True, the world of humans, or the world of servants, is busy all the time. Madam is strict, high-strung, and has a short temper. It'd be a lie if I said the everyday chores weren't a pain, and having to balance work with school makes it even harder. Beatrice had watched over Shannon's painful days the whole time. She had seen those constantly tired shoulders heave in a sigh over and over. That was why she had invited Shannon here, to this golden paradise. She had tried to give Shannon a perfect welcome to truly make her happy. So, why had Shannon selected her original world over this one? Beatrice was overcome with shock and completely unable to understand. I have given you the perfect welcome to this paradise, and the days to follow will be even more fun. So, since you still choose the human world over all of that, do you find something there that is even more fun than the pleasures of witches? That's right. There are things in the human world that are even more fun than magic. Absurd. That cannot be. Yes, it's true. Shannon's expression was soft. However, her words were firm. There was something wonderfully fascinating in the human world. And that something was apparently not in this paradise, where everything was supposedly just as they wanted it. Absurd. I don't understand. As Beatrice muttered, she shifted restlessly several times. However, no matter how often she said it, Shannon's smile didn't falter, and Beatrice couldn't think of an answer. In that case, it's time for me to leave. Your tea was delicious. I don't understand. I am the great golden witch, the one who can have anything endlessly. You tell me that I cannot give you what you want? Yes. I want to know. I believed I had everything, so tell me what it is I lack. I think that you already know. Isn't that why you invited me here? Are you trying to speak in riddles to a witch? That's all for now then. I can't live here, but I would be glad to come over whenever you invite me for tea. I won't call for you again. Have no fear of that. Beatrice snapped her fingers, and Shannon popped out of existence. Shannon's soul had returned to the dream of her original self. While humans have many dreams in a night, they can remember none of them. The tea party in this paradise mixed in with many other dreams and vanished. The next morning, Shannon would not remember this tea party. However, Shannon's cup remained here. The witch who had lost her guest and was standing alone looked all the more lonely. The witch dug her fingernails into the tablecloth. That grimace, as she bit her lower lip, made it clear that she still hadn't solved the puzzle Shannon had left behind.
Yeah, a lot of that going around.
Yoink! Reach-a! There's no need to worry about it.
A black hole opened above Shannon's empty seat, and the owner of that voice fell out of it. I do worry. Ah, come on. How could she say it with such certainty?
Maybe she just wanted to get back to sleep quickly since dawn is coming soon.
What pleasure could Shannon know that I do not? What is this something that can be found in the human world but not in my paradise?
You want to know what it is? You want to know for realsies?
Yeah?
EDM.
They haven't invented that yet.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand. I want to know.
Thinking about complicated stuff will just fuel your headache. I can be of service in Shannon's place. Let's enjoy a tea party together, all right?
I don't feel like it anymore. I'm bored of having tea parties with you.
Ow! Aw, she's cranky.
The witch shrugged and laughed, then took a bite out of a stone.
Wait, were these baked with milk in them? I've got...
She then blew into it, and it swelled up like a balloon before finally popping. Golden ribbons and butterflies flew out, but Beatrice didn't appear to notice. Just what is it that I do not possess? What?
Hey! Been a while since we've seen these pictures.
Hey,
Watch
boat
your step
guy.
there.
Boat guy,
Boat
boat
guy.
guy, boat guy, boat guy.
Boat Guy 2022.
I don't remember boat guy's name.
Watch your step there.
Thank you, Captain. Make sure you take good care of yourself, all right?
I've got a friend who sells this stuff that's supposed to be great for stiff shoulders. I'll bring you a sample next time.
Hell, need to trouble yourself. But thanks for caring. Hey, brats. How long you gonna mess around up there? Let's go.
Hey, Maria, come down off the boat with Mama.
Maria, who Rosa led by the hand, was still too young for kindergarten. However, she seemed to notice that her cousins, whom she rarely ever saw, were playing all around her, and she was very excited. Battler and George had the energy of middle school or nearly middle school kids. Those two, along with Jessica, who had met them on Nijima, were clambering about on the boat. You okay, Osamu? You really don't like riding things, do you?
This is quite some time ago then. If Austin
Yeah,
is still
and
around,
Battler is still around as well. So this must be like Rokkenjima babies.
right? Oh no.
Rudolph lent an arm to his wife, Osamu.
Are we gonna see Osamu?
I doubt it. If they haven't shown her yet, I don't know why they would now. Like, if we haven't seen Tiny Angie, like, notice how they haven't given us any of the sprites of the young kids because
Yeah.
they're all too, like, they would be so much younger now that it would be noticeable. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Fair enough.
Welcome to Rokkenjima. Thank you for making such a long journey. The whole family had gathered for the conference. At this point in time, Rudolph's wife was still Osamu, and Angie hadn't been born. Goda and Cannon hadn't yet been employed by the Ushiromiya family, and the witch's epitaph, which would toy with the family's fate, hadn't appeared yet. They probably couldn't even imagine the bizarre crime that they would encounter several years later.
Crow-sama, madam. The family has arrived. Good. Should I call for father?
Please do. I will go welcome everyone. Oh, Shannon. Who cleaned this window frame? It still has dust on it. Quickly, wipe it off. As you wish, madam.
Oh, come on. Natsuhi's making her work so hard again. Oh, this is Beatrice narrating this.
Oh, come on. Natsuhi's making her work so hard again. Just what good does she find in such a limited, ulcer-inducing life? I wanted to know. Shannon, what is it that you found? And what did you mean when you said I already knew what was missing? Shannon, is this something I must learn by learning about you? We are now learning about Beatrice and the events of Rokkenjima by learning about Yasu, by learning about Yasu's witch persona, learning about her servant persona. We're on so many levels of meta right now. Oh my god. What's different about the day of the family conference on Rokkenjima? It's gotta be the noise. There's never this many kids around. It may have been a tension-filled day for the adults, but to us kids, it was a wonderful day. The only time we got to see all the cousins we loved.
I am in this one. Yo, what's up, everyone? It's me. Woo! This one goes out to you in the back row. Freebird. In the summer, we'd play with our cousins on the beach, and even in the winter, there were plenty of games we could play. The family conferences were tons of fun for us.
Same here. Mom was always yelling about how there must be no mistakes, but to me it was just the day I got to play with all my cousins. After all, there's usually nothing at all to do on Rokkenjima.
Back when I was still a little brat, I was always jealous of Jessica getting to live in this huge mansion on a private beach. But now that I try putting myself in her shoes, it must have been a pretty constricting place to live.
Probably. There's hardly anything on Rokkenjima. No friends' houses, no next-door neighbors, no neighborhood. If you think of how Jessica must have felt, you have to feel a little sad for her. That's why the family conference was so special to me. Jumping around, messing around, it felt like I was at a festival. We played tricks on each other all the time. If the adults always talked about adult things and told you to go play somewhere else, then you were 3 cousins at about the same age. Of course you'd horse around. No, not the 3 of us, the 4 of us. But I thought Angie wasn't born yet, and Maria was still too young to play with you. You got it wrong, Furfur. The cousins weren't the only ones at the same age.
Oh, Shannon Chan was the 4th. She was about the same age as the rest of us.
Mom was always going on about not talking with the servant kids, but Shannon and I started to get close. After all, she was the girl closest to me in age on Rokkenjima. All 4 of us played together. We played at every family conference. Right, Shannon? Right. I knew that Madam would scold me if she found out, but I wouldn't have let her. You were always the one close friend I had who could understand me. Thank you for your kind words, milady. I simply could not hide my shock. How had she formed a relationship with the children of the family, despite being only a servant? Natsuhi had probably been very careful to prevent such a relationship. However, it's no surprise that Jessica, all alone on this island, would want to be friends with a kid her age. And Shannon was also alone on this island, without any friends her age. Though they both understood their relationship as master and servant, they somehow managed to strike up a friendship. Then, at the family conference, Jessica had introduced Shannon to George and Battler. All of the adults had their hands full with their complicated discussion in the mansion. During that time, Shannon was able to set aside her role as a servant for a little bit, acting her age with Jessica, George, and Battler. I didn't even know that Shannon had constructed this new world so quickly. As a butterfly hiding in the shadows, I observed this new world of Shannon's. That day, we ran all around the rose garden and the beach. Just running around and playing was a blast.
Yeah, those were the only times that Shannon Chan smelled. Whoa! Paging Dr. Freud, am I right? Moving briskly along, those were the only times that Shannon Chan smiled like a girl her age.
I might have gotten a bit carried away.
Are we going to learn about a battler's sin soon here?
Maybe. It's embarrassing. Battler's insanely huge now, but back then, Shannon and I were both taller and stronger than him. And I could still beat him up, just so you know.
Really? Battler changed that much, huh? I still haven't forgotten about 2 battlers theory.
Yeah? Yeah?
I don't think it's the case, but it's still in the back of my mind.
I just grew slowly back then.
They say that those who start late end up the tallest.
Oh, yeah, totally. Totes my goats. Back then your chest was nothing like this, right?
That's not true.
People loved this part of my character. I'm glad we brought it back.
Shin had already had plenty of womanly charm back then, right? Who knows? What the hell do you mean by womanly charm, you perv?
Well, I was still pretty cute back then myself. That bra strap you could see through the shoulder of her summer clothing set off a lightning of youth in me. I remember whispering with George on a key that night about how big her tits might be. Ho-ho!
Is this true, George-sama?
Yes, what's up?
I believe there's been some sort of misunderstanding. All I remember was lecturing him, as the older and more knowledgeable cousin, about the differences between how boys and girls grow. And so, rather than dirty talk between cousins late at night, it was instead a sign of healthy growth and, Yeah, I remember all of us cousins talking about stuff like that until midnight, about how apparently someone in the next class had kissed someone else, or how you held hands with a girl you liked at summer camp, and about so-and-so who you thought probably liked you, stuff like that. Damn it, it's so embarrassing that it makes me shiver. Isn't that nice? Another sweet page in the book of adolescence. The most pure love comes when boys and girls first start noticing each other. That simple, pure desire to be around someone of the opposite sex. The noble first loves. Just wonderful. A bunch of kids thinking and talking about the world of love. Did that sort of thing really happen?
Yo, don't play dumb. You were the most absorbed and curious of all of us, sitting there till even your ears turned red.
I was not curious. I was just surprised at how much everyone knew, and you've got to excuse me, I grew up in Jesus camp.
Oh yeah, that'll do it to you.
That's right. Shannon always played dumb the most, even though she was the most interested. She was the biggest pervert there. That's not true. That's not true. I hate you, milady. Yeah, it was always like this. In the day, we'd run around like kids, and at night we'd hug our pillows and talk about secret stuff. Looking back on all of it now, it really brings back some fond memories.
We'd be whispering about something dirty, and whenever we heard the footsteps of the adults coming by, we'd jump under the covers and pretend to be sleeping.
Yeah, I remember that. Like some school field trip. Those times we all dove under the covers at once. It felt like some sort of unspoken rule, like a strange sense of unity. I think I've got the voices swapped. I really liked that feeling. Well, anyway, that's not all we talked about. There was a lot more than that. We really did enjoy our youth to the fullest. And what is this? Shannon, is this that fun thing of the human world? Is this incomprehensible messing around the thing that you found? A bunch of kids gathered together playing stupid games and talking about trivial matters. Is this the human pleasure you found that surpasses the pleasures of witches? Yes. Doesn't it look fun to you? I won't call it boring. However, I cannot see how such a vulgar game can compare to my paradise, where all wishes can be granted. Interacting with people is a lot of fun. Of course, I also think your world is fun, but even so, I choose this world. I don't understand. I don't understand at all. Beatrice held her head as though she was having a headache, but no matter how much she grimaced, she couldn't think of an answer. Tell me, what is it you found within this vulgar playing? Do you want to know?
Yes! Fucking tell us! God damn it!
I do.
But wait.
Love.
You know what? I should have seen that coming.
What the fuck did you expect? Love?
Stop talking to me. I'm in the audience. You're breaking the fourth wall.
Here, it's the Queen book I promised. I don't know who's talking. Oh, it's probably,
So this is Shannon. And
yeah.
this is...
Is that Kumasawa lending her a book or something?
Yeah, because it's going to be Ellery Queen.
I have no idea what
Mystery
that
author.
is. Okay.
Here, it's a Queen book, I promised.
Thank you very much. I'd be happy to borrow it.
That's okay. You can keep it, Sharon-chan. I've already read it.
But I can't accept this. It was probably expensive.
It's just something I got for a few hundred yen at a bazaar. Don't worry about it. I'd rather if you read it quickly so we can talk about it. It's fun to talk about this sort of stuff with you, Shannon-chan.
Yes, it's fun for me too. It's much more fun to read mystery novels with two people instead of alone.
I like talking about it and imagining all kinds of things. Mystery novels, reading's only half the fun after all. My theory is that you can only really enjoy it when you talk with other people who've read it too. No shit.
Our relationship began when we realized that we both read mystery novels.
Oh.
What if it was the wrong voice that we gave this past scene?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty funny if true.
Wait,
I guess
is
we'll
it
find
probably
out
Battler?
soon.
Noted mystery fan Battler?
I don't know. We'll find out soon. We were both surprised and very interested to find that the other not only read tons of mystery novels, but read them very thoroughly. Ever since then, it's been like this. Yep, it's totally Battler.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I had a frog in my throat for a good while of that conversation without getting it out.
Separate from the games we played with all the cousins, the two of us met together for some time alone. At first, it was like a sort of contest to see who knew more than the other. However,
Oh, shit.
eventually, this turned into respect for how much the other had read and how deeply they were able to think about it. Respect. Trust. Those emotions made our friendship even stronger. Of course, all of that had still fallen within the category of friendship, but we were still slightly aware of the fact that the other was of the opposite sex, making for a relationship that was charming or youthful, or maybe you could call it exciting.
The other was of the opposite sex. Okay. Well, that doesn't help us.
I'm an enigma wrapped inside a mystery.
For intensifying. Zepar intensifying. However, we were still at the age where calling us young men and women would probably be a bit too gracious. Of course, we didn't know a thing about love, so we couldn't understand that exciting feeling in our chests, both bitter and sweet, that we only felt when we were alone together. However, we realized that there was some unknown emotion hidden behind that feeling, and as our hearts raced, we had our hands upon the door. That was the exciting age we were at. So, at some point our discussions about mystery novels became just an excuse for us meeting alone.
There aren't many mystery novels that care much about the why done it.
The why done it? You mean the culprit's motive?
Yeah. There are 3 points you need to figure out in mystery novels: the who done it, the how done it, and the why done it. A lot of mysteries deal with the first two, but surprisingly few worry about the final one.
Gee, I hope that doesn't inspire an epic-length visual novel at some point in the future.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that. No one reads visual novels.
Well, I know about many works that take great care to have the culprit confess his motive after he's been found out.
But it has to be something you could reason out before the culprit confesses, or it doesn't count. Personally, I think it's unfair for a person who supposedly didn't have a motive to commit the crime, unless it's possible to reason his or her motive out.
Who done it? Who's the culprit? How done it? How did he commit the crime? Why done it? Why did he commit the crime?
There are a ton of works that ask about who the culprit is and what tricks they used. In fact, almost all are like that. However, I don't think there are many novels that ask you to figure out the motive.
Good point. That might be the most neglected of the 3.
Mysteries that don't take the why done it seriously don't really feel complete to me. No, I'm not saying they're boring. It's more like they're missing the most important part.
The most important part is missing?
The heart. The heart is missing. You can't neglect the heart.
The heart. Wow, it's going to be really funny in a couple of years when I'm the one trying to act out this, but in a much more tragic way, and you just totally missed the point.
Huh? Well, I don't know what you're talking about, but sure. I think the human heart is a really important thing. If a person's gonna decide to commit murder, plan it out, get everything ready, and actually carry it out, you need an incredibly strong force of the heart. The heart is what moves people, after all.
I thought those were muscles.
Oh, well, I mean...
And the heart is one, I guess.
You don't have to be like this, you know. We can just talk about the mystery novels.
In other words, only the heart can kill a person. When an emotional upheaval grows strong enough to make a person want to kill, the result is the tragedy called murder. If we turn it around, does that mean that the true way to close in on the crime is by searching for the heart that brings about the tragedy of murder? Only the heart can kill a person, so if a person has been killed, you must search for that heart. That's what he's saying.
So, okay, yep. That confirms at least one thing, gender-wise.
That's why I can't really enjoy novels where the culprit is just a homicidal maniac who kills for fun.
Then you like novels that show a strong enough movement of the heart to lead to murder.
That's right. And my favorite ones are the novels that let you reason that out.
I'm just gonna take notes for no reason.
Okay. I mean, I've got like a big document you could put these into.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Maybe like bind them up into a book of some kind. I don't know.
Yeah, make it look all mystical even. That'd be cool.
That'd be pretty, poggers?
Yeah.
Am I using that right?
I don't think they've invented it yet, so you can use it however you want.
Oh, fair enough.
As he spoke, he looked back at me and smiled. Before today, I used to like novels that focused on exposing tricks. However, I decided to look for novels like the ones he recommended in the future.
I don't like neglecting the heart. The heart is what makes people move, after all.
Yeah, I think you're right. This isn't limited to the mystery genre. All humans are moved by their hearts all the time. Being able to notice the heart is what allows for interactions between people. No, interactions between hearts. None of us humans can live on our own, and yet we have no way of peeking into the hearts of others. That's why every meeting between people is a mystery of the heart. Finding those, reasoning about them, and understanding each other is the key to interactions between people and hearts. The two of us are here, all alone, talking together about mysteries, and through that, we're searching out each other's hearts, speaking of the heart's mysteries. I want you to feel about me the way I feel about you. We're both searching, trying to figure out the depths of the other's heart in this mystery of love.
And then Battler never showed up again. So Shannon's like, what's the one language I have that I know Battler will be able to figure out? What's the one method of communication that I know Battler will be certain to overanalyze and be certain to get the message? In fact, probably only he will get the message out of it.
Gee, this is gonna work so great. I'm so glad I took notes.
Fuck! And that's
gonna
why it's in
fucking
a
love
message
this.
bottle. Maybe she didn't even intend for Battler to find it, just needed to do it for her own.
Maybe.
Because it's seeming increasingly clear that the explosion incident and the tale in the bottle are wholly unrelated to each other.
Yeah, seems like it.
Yeah. Everyone happened to die from an explosion, but there was also, unrelated to that, a big murder mystery at the time.
Ugh, look at how late it's gotten. I wonder if Aniki and the others are waiting for us.
Yes, we should probably go back soon.
Time seems to fly by when I'm talking with you, Shannon-chan.
He seemed to be speaking the words of my heart.
I am nothing if not a master wordsmith. Listen to my soothing voice.
We were thinking the same thing, so the same words came out.
My voice gives me super mystery strength.
You had to do it at least once.
To do it.
I wish we could talk together like this forever. I hate clocks.
Same here.
Oh.
We swapped.
It's fine. Talking about this stuff with you is the most fun part of coming to Rokkenjima.
When I saw that his smiling eyes were looking right at me, I turned away. I couldn't let him see my suddenly red face. If only I could leave this place, I'd be able to read so much more. The bookshop on Nijima that I go to, and the bookshop he goes to in the city are on completely different scales. The book exchange between the two of us had become completely one-sided, with him giving me all the books.
How long do you plan to be a servant, Shannon-chan?
I don't know.
If someday you decide to quit,
If I do?
come on over to my place.
He said it almost carelessly. Maybe he was a bit embarrassed since he laughed weakly and blushed a little.
Then we won't need to worry about time running out anymore.
That's right. We could be together as long as we wanted. The little secret dates on this island only happened a few times a year, and even when they did happen, it was only for a short, uncertain period of time. It wouldn't work over the phone or with letters. We can only talk about our mystery when we're standing together like this.
Or sitting next to each other, recording ourselves, talking about it. Perhaps.
I know that day will come someday. Oh, no.
You think it will?
I think we swapped
Oh,
again.
whoops. Yeah, I'm certain of it.
Certain? Why is he certain?
Fucking called it. So we had guessed at kind of like the gist of this conversation about, and the phrase we had used, and it's kind of just a throwaway to be like Battler saying that he'd come back and take Shannon away with him on a white horse.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't expect that to be literally exactly what he said.
No, we knew that.
About the white horse?
Yeah.
Really?
Shannon quotes it to him
Oh.
all the way back at the beginning. I can't remember if it's one or in episode 1 or 2, but that's why I'd been using that phrase.
Oh,
Because
really?
Shannon smilingly quotes it to him as they're all ribbing Battler for being such an embarrassing guy back then when he was so young.
Oh.
And saying silly things like that.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I thought we were just using that because that's the turn of phrase one uses for that, but
I was using it because that exact line,
oh my god.
that exact line was told to us out in the open all the way back at the beginning.
Well, when that day comes, I'll come for you, riding a white horse.
What?
Don't ask me where I'll get the horse on the island.
After saying this, he turned away. He was probably too proud to show me his blushing cheeks. But even without seeing, I knew what his face looked like. To come riding on a white horse, isn't that like a prince riding a white horse? So what exactly does that mean? Does it mean you're going to be my prince? My mind was going blank, so I just couldn't reason out his mystery of love, even though it was all plain and simple. I wonder when that day will come.
Anytime you're ready.
Huh? My heart skipped a beat. It was so sweet, yet it hurt.
Anytime's good for me. This is your life we're talking about, Shannon-chan. You should think about it carefully before you decide. And once you've made up your mind, I'll respect your decision, no matter when you make it. And here's the one condition I've got on this. You cannot murder people if I don't show up for 6 years.
What about after 6 years?
So it's gonna continue on after that point. So just let's make it. How about no murder? No murder. One
Think
murder.
about it.
One murder. How about one? I'll give you one.
We can negotiate that.
That is the negotiation.
Okay.
We'll keep on waiting until that day comes.
Nah. If only I had been a bit more foolish and courageous. I could have said then and there that I was already prepared and asked him to take me away from this island right away. But I couldn't say it. I had to think carefully about my future for both of our sakes. My head was filled with pointless, senseless thoughts.
Also, they're both like 12 or 13 right now, so it's like it's kind of precocious.
Yeah. I'm glad. Thank you.
No.
With his back still to me, he scratched his head and laughed. I knew he was doing this out of embarrassment, so I could clearly tell what his expression must have been. In the same way, he must have realized what my face looked like. We're both puzzle solvers of love. We theorize about each other's love, solving each other's mysteries.
Well, when you put it that way, it makes it sound like a light novel.
Thanks for giving me time.
You have all the time in the world.
No. I'd feel bad if I kept you waiting too long.
Oh, kept me waiting, huh?
So I've decided. No, I should say that I will decide. I don't mean that I'll quit my job today, right now. Yes, 1 year. 1 year from now. If a year after now you still feel like coming for me on a white horse, and me too, if I still like you a year from now, I'd like to dedicate the rest of my life to you. 1 year from now, right here, I'd like to make my decision.
A year, huh? Well, that sounds good. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. It's a good amount of time to look honestly into your heart.
So, next year, please, come for me, okay?
Yep.
He responded to my cowardly determination with a quick, strong answer. I'll be waiting for that day to come.
Yes. I'll be waiting too. Make
Oh,
sure...
we swapped.
Oh, hold on. I'll be waiting for that day to come.
Yes, I'll be waiting too. Make sure you come, okay?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
fuck.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yep. No, I gotta finish. Hold on. Yep. What was that, Shannon? I'm on the phone. Yep.
Don't forget, come here next year, okay?
Yeah, I'll come. That's for certain. I'll meet you here.
That's for certain.
I'll say it with certainty.
Oh, fuck.
Right?
So here's the thing. How does Battler not remember that at all? It's not like a... I mean, I guess maybe because it happened when he was like 12 or whatever.
Yeah, maybe it also wasn't as important to him as it was to Shannon. Maybe he was just
I don't
messing
know.
around.
If it was at the point where he was bringing her books every year, they were doing like book swap stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he'd completely forget about that. Like, oh, I made a promise to a friend of mine, but maybe he didn't think about the promise of it.
Wait. Who else vanished for 6 years and developed amnesia and spent forever to get back home and understand what happened?
Kaname Date.
Guess who else is a weird joker with a reputation for being a pervert?
Oh, shit. The pieces are all coming together. Go play the Somnium Files. You'll love them. I'm pretty sure I don't have to sell this audience on the Somnium Files, do I?
I see. So, this emotion that feels like sweet suffocation is love? It is an emotion I do not know, one I do not have. Though my magic can grant any wish, though my paradise can grant any wish, that thing I cannot have, that incomprehensible emotion, that burns like fire, and yet, madly, one wants to hold it close. All I know is that no matter how great a witch I might become, I cannot create this emotion. It must be given by another person. For the first time, I realized that I wasn't all powerful, and I knew what Shannon had discovered in the world of humans. This emotion, it's just too much. Once you've felt it, there's no forgetting it, is there? Gee, I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me. Shannon, you win. Love, is it? It may be the most important element, and the one that I lack. Shannon, I'll watch and see how your love develops, so please teach me more and more about this new emotion.
Good game.
Oh, yeah.
That's such a banal conversation, though. Like, I always assumed there would be something, like, a little bit more to it, but I guess it's just one that's your whole world, right?
Yeah.
And for Battler, who's got a lot of things going on outside the island, it was Tuesday. Hello.
We're here.
It's the weakest intro we've ever had. Holy fuck.
It's not even an intro. This is in the middle of a video.
I know, right? This is the second half of an episode. We're like, if we're recording it on a... Never mind. Ugh.
This form is...
I'm lending it to you. After all, I hate idiots. Call yourself Claire as a temporary name. Or would you prefer Beato?
You have my gratitude. This way, I won't have to expose my pitiful form.
Berncastle had given Claire a fake form. It was a temporary form for the person acting the part of Beatrice. A fake to fool those who still hadn't discovered Beatrice's true form.
Then, is this a tale about me in another world? Leon, this is indeed a tale of you in another world, and also my tale. The tale of a world where I live as a witch, not a human. I am capable of imagining what-if scenarios for my own life. However, the tale you tell is beyond anything I can imagine.
Even so, it's the life that another you has led.
But still, that doesn't mean I can accept it easily.
Leon suddenly yelled and looked at the floor. Leon already knew. Because of the fragments lent by Berncastle, Leon knew. There was a different world where Leon lived as the Golden Witch Beatrice. And in this world, eventually, on the day of the 1986 October Family Conference, she would be the ringleader of a terrible crime.
Even if it is a different world, you're saying that I get my entire family and all of the servants involved in a terrible crime that I'm the mastermind of?
See, I've been ever since we finished that last thing, I've been wondering whether or not that's actually true.
Yeah.
Because as it becomes increasingly likely that the note in a bottle that kicked off the whole murder plot shenanigans, and the notion that everyone died in an explosion, right? And there's just, there happens to be unexploded military ordnance throughout the island, as we know. That it becomes increasingly likely that they all just died in an accident.
Okay, but consider this. That doesn't contradict what this says. It just says, get my entire family and all the servants involved in the terrible crime. It doesn't say which crime it is.
True, that's true. But
Maybe it's tax evasion.
Oh, that could be it. It's just, it seems less and less likely that any actual murdering went on. I guess Ava being in Kuwadorian is still strange. But if that's your only...
Indeed that's what happened.
Hashijo was very proud of the fact that she managed to work that detail into one of the game boards. And we know Ava survives. So I'm willing to take that one at face value, that Ava survived because she was in Kuwadorian and not near the main mansion.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it might not even be something where there's any foul play at all. And that's... Huh. Anyway, just thinking.
How am I supposed to deal with that?
Be quiet, listen, and figure it out.
In a different life, I end up as a servant, and if that wasn't enough, I suddenly become a witch.
Yeah, but witches are pretty great, though.
Okay. I will hand that to you. They are pretty cool.
Yeah, you will.
And then I eventually carry out several terrifying murders. How am I supposed to understand that?
Because, again, we're being shown are fragments, possible worlds that could come based on the motivations and dispositions of the people involved. We have been given very little about the actual state of what happened in reality.
I see.
So,
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I doubt anyone could understand. This person here thought that no one would ever understand, and that's why you're here. That's why Berncastle brought you two. Two people who never should have met, together like this.
it's not like I had any deep reason for it. It was just a whim.
This is a motive that no one else can understand, Leon, so you need to be the one to understand it. I'm not the main character in this tale, dashing though I am, right?
Yeah.
Up top. Got him. You are. I'm just here to help you understand.
You said that you understand the culprit's motive.
Yep.
Is that motive a satisfying explanation for why I'd kill my entire family?
Who knows? That's for you to decide. Even if I say it's satisfying, that doesn't mean it'll satisfy you. You have to decide that for yourself.
I really don't have a clue what's going on. I've seen several crimes called game boards that Beatrice supposedly carried out, and I'm hearing another me talk about a different life from mine. But there's no connection between that and the crime. I don't understand. At this point in the tale, even I could not have dreamed that I would eventually carry out such terrible crimes. In fact, even if I had been able to dream of it, I did not have the power to commit those crimes at that time.
Probably. Your misfortune probably came when you solved the epitaph's riddle.
Huh? You mean that epitaph about the hidden gold which grandfather supposedly wrote?
There exists a system for gaining different accomplices for each crime. Reasoning can lead us to the possibility that the culprit possessed a vast amount of money. Can also envision another system which involves inviting all to the Golden Land and making all loves bear fruit.
Can we reread that?
Yeah. So
we did think the culprit had gotten a hold of a lot of money, Kinzo's assets.
right, because one of the things that we noticed in the end was that the people who weren't on the island, including Angie somehow, were all given keys to a safe deposit box.
Yeah,
with money in it, and blah, 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 blah. Can also envision another system which involves inviting all to the Golden Land and making all loves bear fruit. Someone in the Discord was confident we'd be able to solve the epitaph by the end of EP7. I don't know. If what we figured out about Leon isn't the satisfying solution yet, then I don't know that we will, but, like... I feel like we've been banging our head against this epitaph for so fucking long, and then you made that one breakthrough, and that still doesn't feel like enough.
Is that what this is saying?
I envision another system which involves inviting all to the Golden Land and making all loves bear fruit.
I don't know that this is a statement about the solution of the epitaph.
I mean, that's what they were talking about right before it.
Yeah.
I guess maybe it doesn't have to be related, but
Yeah, because it seems to me like the previous bit isn't, right? If you scroll back to it. System for gaining accomplices for each crime. Reasoning led us to the possibility that the culprit possessed a vast amount of money. So
yeah, but
that's not a statement about the epitaph. That's a statement about how did we get accomplices? How did we carry these things out? And so on.
Gotcha. So how did Shannon carry out the actual crimes in these worlds? Okay.
So now I'm trying to figure out, what does "we can also envision another system" here mean? What is that? How would that convince someone to be an accomplice?
I don't know. Inviting all to the Golden Land and making all loves bear fruit.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
Maybe we'll get it soon. So, it wasn't just the motive. You've already seen that far as well.
That's the answer to the final riddle from the fourth game. Your greatest misfortune was solving the epitaph, reviving as the Golden Witch in the truest sense, and gaining magical power.
Looking back, was that really misfortune after all?
The answer to the riddle from the fourth game. I am before you and I'm about to kill you, but I am not you. And you were alone on the island.
Wait, what's the answer? What's the sentence before that? I've already seen that far as well. Ryukishi!
Yeah. See, okay,
All
I
of
feel
this
like
talking in metaphor.
And it's not, I don't think this is talking in metaphor. I think this would make perfect sense if we had reached whatever conclusion they're talking about. There have been a lot of instances where they've been kind of dancing around something, but we've been able to be like, oh yeah, having gotten to that point, we know for sure. Like the whole thing with Shannon and Cannon, why can't you bring them both here at once?
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't have an inkling that Shannon and Cannon might be the same person, you would see that entire scene and be like, the fuck does that mean? So I have a feeling this might be getting at something that we just don't know. And just one of the mysteries we never had a chance to reckon with, or... Zombie with the jetpack. Zombie with the jetpack is still...
I do not know. However, as long as the fact that Battler-san returns in 1986 remains unchanged, some sort of tragedy would certainly have occurred.
Really? So it's Battler being there specifically in 1986 that brings about a tragedy. I guess that's a knock against my idea that it was that the incident that happened in real life was just happenstance. But that's right. Battle had returned a year earlier or later. That incident might not have occurred.
Oh, Ryukishi, I don't get it.
Why
I don't
the
get
year
it. I don't get
19?
it.
Why specifically the year 1986? Okay. What was different that year? Angie wasn't there that year? Because Will isn't necessarily referring to it having to be 1986. He could be saying the conditions that were true on the island in that year.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So maybe he's talking about the general state of the family fortunes and how everyone was desperate for money at the time.
Yeah. Maybe the George thing.
The George thing where he's ramping up to marry Sayo. Because that does seem to be like, oh, the person I was waiting for finally came back right as I'm about to get proposed to by someone else.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that could create like the... Is that enough?
Oh. No, some small incident probably would have occurred. And it would surely have been a mysterious, impossible incident which no one could have explained, but even so, compared to the Rokkenjima serial murders, it would have been a tiny thing.
Rokkenjima serial murders. But we don't even know that the Rokkenjima serial murders happened.
In some fragments.
Yeah, I guess, in some fragments.
If Battler-kun had returned a year earlier or later, then what? Fate can be so filled with irony. It made me walk the path of a witch, and when I solved the epitaph, I became a true witch.
When you solved the epitaph, you became a true witch, okay?
Then 6 years passed, and I learned of his return.
So you solved the epitaph just around the time that Battler left for the last time. Okay.
If all of that was fate, then this crime must have been inevitable and inescapable for me.
In 1980, Battler was resentful because of the death of his mother Osamu, and his father's remarriage that came too soon, so he left the Ushiromiya family. For 6 whole years, he had no direct contact with them.
That matches up with what was stated explicitly.
Mhm.
Okay. No surprises there. He convinced his grandparents on his mother's side to help him and went by his mother's maiden name. Then, when those grandparents passed away, he finally made up with Rudolph and returned to the Ushiromiya family again in 1986.
That bad luck gave birth to your motive for the crime.
And is the motive really just Battler didn't show?
And yet, we just heard that if Battler didn't show, but showed later or earlier, it's got to be something a little more than Battler didn't show.
Well, no,
it?
because she was saying like it was that's year specific made it, but like on other if he had returned on other years, there surely would have been some smaller incident.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that is still the motive, but it coinciding with specifically getting proposed to by George.
Okay. I did wonder, why, after 6 whole years, did he finally come back?
I understand. In a way, it would have been better for you if you had never come back.
Of course, my suffering would have continued. However, I may not have tainted myself with the unforgivable crime of mass murder. How could Battler-kun leaving create a motive?
You got it backwards.
Backwards?
The crime didn't occur because Battler left. It happened because Battler came back.
The more I think about it, Ushiromiya Battler was quite a disagreeable man. More than anything else, because he never realized that the outbreak of the crime was his fault.
He did remember in the end. However, that was long after you gave up and disappeared.
If that is so, then it would give my heart some peace. I don't have a clue what you two are talking about anymore, but I'd like to ask you bluntly. I want to know, what on earth happened to you that made you decide to commit a crime?
Yeah, that's the most important part, isn't it? Just like how Ushiromiya Battler respected the why done it in mystery novels. That's where the answers to all the riddles are hidden, both in the Tale of the Golden Witch and in the game.
In that case, allow me to continue. 1980, 6 years before I resolved myself to committing the crime. Chapter 6, Days of Trials.
Because I feel like the interceding 6 years are where we have like the biggest gap in our knowledge.
Yep.
Because I feel like, despite the fact that all the other pieces we put together, the interceding 6 years are where we have the least idea of what might have happened to Shannon and what could have brought things about the way they did.
Yep. Battler Sama has left the Ushiromiya family?
That's what Kraus-sama and Rudolph-sama were saying. What a shock.
I have no intention of criticizing your way of life or your family situation. However, father is in a towering rage. Disinheriting a son is one thing, but I've never even heard of a child becoming fed up and leaving the family on his own. That battler can be surprisingly stubborn. Sort of like someone else I know.
If you are unable to understand Battler-kun's feelings, one might question your right to be a father.
Not say he did. Okay, I mean, you're not wrong, but maybe you shouldn't be the one making that argument. Maybe. Enough, Natsuhi. I'm sure Rudolph was just trying to show how dedicated he was to raising Kirie-san's child in his own way.
That being Angie?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have nothing to say if this were happening next year. But why this year? He's still in his period of mourning.
Okay, so it is explicitly about not waiting long enough.
If you consider the timing of this pregnancy, one must acknowledge that Rudolph-san has acted disgracefully.
Come on, don't be so harsh. It's my way of atoning for what I've done.
Battler-kun's trying to protest against you on behalf of his departed mother, Asumu-san. I deeply understand how he feels. If he were here, I would want to hold him and cry along with him.
Natsuhi's words were sharp. They pierced Rudolph mercilessly. Rudolph had no retort. His relationship with Kirie had been adulterous, plain and simple. Interesting that Natsuhi seems to be fully sympathetic to Battler, though.
Mm-hmm.
According to Rudolph, he had been close to Kirie longer than Asumu. And even after his marriage to Asumu, that relationship had not disappeared. The hell does that mean, you old bastard? Oh, hold on.
What the hell does that mean, you old bastard? So you've been betraying Mom from the start? Sure, I know Kirie-san. You told me that she was your business partner and a friend whose advice you could always rely on. If you're trying to say after all this time that she was more than that, then why should I give a damn? After Mom's death, you could have done whatever you wanted. I'm right there with you, saying that you should live life as you please. But just when did Kirie-san get pregnant? Back when Mom was still alive, right? Yeah, now I finally see. So this is why you always make me want to vomit. Are you glad that Mom's finally dead now? You are, aren't you? I'm sure it would have been so hard on you keeping your infidelity and even a kid's secret while Mom was still alive. But now that Mom conveniently kicked it, you get to marry Kirie-san and I get a new little brother or sister? You bet that Mom's crying in heaven. You bastard, you're embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed that I can't stand to have the same last name as you. The kid is completely guiltless. It'd be too sad if he or she doesn't have both. Oh, that's still Battler. Never mind. The kid is completely guiltless. It'd be too sad if he or she didn't have both parents together. So go ahead and build a new family and raise that kid to have a happy life. But I will never forgive you. Mom isn't here to hate you anymore, so I'll hate you in her place. With all of my body and soul. So long, you old bastard.
That is enough, Natsuhi. Rudolph hasn't lost the affection he feels for Battler-kun. It may take some time, but he wants to fix their relationship one day.
As any father should. If it was some complete stranger, that would be one thing, but this is your own flesh and blood son. It's clearly your responsibility.
Go ahead, despise me all you want. I won't argue. It's the only way I can atone.
At the very least, make sure you give the new child a happy life.
The kid is going to be born in Battler. They're both my kids. Wedding Kirie-san after Asumu-san's death may have been painful for Battler-kun, but it was the best choice you could have made for the coming child. I understand why you did it.
And I understand why Battler-kun felt like telling you that you were happy Asumu-san is dead.
Stop, Natsuhi. Rudolph has already been scolded enough by the person most fit to do so.
I just like getting in on the scolding. One of my favorite pastimes.
You were all state in the national scolding championships. Now then, how about some black tea? Could you go and ask someone in the kitchen to make us some?
Understood.
Natsuhi took this as a signal to leave the room and did so. Once she left, Crouch relaxed slightly.
I feel bad for Osamu-san. But if we consider the timing of that soon-to-be-born child, this might have been quite the coincidence. Almost as though Osamu knew that and stepped down from the stage of her own choosing. Did I kill Osamu? If so, how long has it been since I started killing her? If you still treasure Osamu-san's memory, then no matter how many years it takes, you must fix your relationship with Battler-kun. Yeah, I know. And be sure to pour just as much affection on Kirie-san and the new child that is to be born, while also bearing Osamu-san's cross. They have reserved seating in hell. Huh? If they do, I'd like to reserve myself a VIP spot.
Yeah.
So, where did we come down on the secret that Rudolph wanted to tell Kirie and Battler? Because remember, Battler isn't Osamu's child.
Oh. The other thing, do we know that for sure?
Yeah, Battler couldn't say it in red.
But does the fact that he can't say it in red mean that it's false, or just that he can't say it's true?
It's a strange distinction. Elaborate.
It could be that it's true and he has no justified basis to assert it.
Isn't the whole point of the red truth that you don't have to be justified in asserting it? It can just be.
And yet, there's that, but there's also, you can't just say anything in red. So I wonder if there are things that are true that you can't say in red.
Maybe.
I don't know. Or maybe he's just Kirie's kid somehow.
Yeah. Either that, or he was adopted, or he had a surrogate mother, or any number of possibilities here.
Yeah.
The news that Battler had abandoned the Ushiromiya name swept across the family.
And poor Battler-san, too. I do believe that he'll make up with them eventually, but...
This is a matter for the family. It is not something that servants need concern themselves with. Instead, we should focus on memorizing the face of the newest member of the Ushiromiya family, Kirie-sama.
Yeah, that's true. She'll be coming to the family conference this year.
The person who just joined the Ushiromiya family would be coming to the conference. And what about the person who just left the family? Is Shannon angry at Kirie on Battler's behalf? Huh.
Why would Battler's coming back be the thing that...
Yeah, that doesn't make sense, does it? Then? Oh, also, someone in the Discord pointed this out, and it made me appreciate so much more the Gap's design. Did you see that thing that they shared in there?
I don't know.
Where Yasu a couple chapters ago was talking about like assigning roles and like moving in like developing backstories and stuff. Someone compared it to like playing with dolls. And then someone compared that to Gap's appearance and dress, where a lot of dolls will have dresses with that big slit up the side so you can fit them on more easily.
That makes so much sense.
And that explains so much about like her appearance and like, yeah. And as soon as they pointed that out, I'm like, oh shit, you're right. You're absolutely right. And suddenly the way that Yasuda interacts with their mental pantheon, right, makes so much more sense.
That means Battler isn't coming, right?
That seems the most probable outcome. How lonely is the loss of a single noisy man? Sometimes I can still hear his voice.
Gay! Homosexual! Gay!
Though most people felt a bit lonely to see Battler leave the Ushiromiya family, they didn't think any more about it than that. However, what about Shannon? Wasn't Battler supposed to come for her on a white horse? I was surprised at first. I thought that since he had left the family, he might not be coming to this island anymore. If we consider Battler-san's feelings, this is only natural, I guess. I understand painfully well why he wanted to leave his family. But does that really mean he won't come to Rokkenjima anymore? What on earth is going on? Will he really never return? Unable to ask him this directly, I was forced to live each day fretfully. Battler-san, I understand how you feel, but to say that you'll never return because you've abandoned your family, that's a lie, right? I was so confused that the world seemed to be spinning around me. I had a tight feeling in my chest and couldn't think about anything. When I happened to touch my cheek, I was surprised to find it hot and wet. While wearing a truly miserable expression on my face, I was crying. Shannon, Shannon. From far away, I could hear someone calling to me, but it was a very strange sort of distance. Though it felt very far away, the voice also seemed to be coming from right beside me. Shannon, I know your heart.
It's okay. It's just a fight between a boy and his father. And I'm sure the rumors will blow everything out of proportion. Everything's just being exaggerated.
Indeed. There are none who can say with certainty that Battler will not return to this island.
I can. Exactly one person can, and that's me.
That was the wrong voice. I'm the Witch of Certainty.
Oh shit. Lambda, I didn't know you were here.
I'm always here.
I thought I could take over
Directly
while you were...
behind you.
What?
24/7.
Why? What? How long have you been back there?
Always.
Oh, God. I just love the idea that Lambda's constantly, like, making, like, faces or something behind Burn.
Following Burncastle like a puppy at all times. An evil, murderous puppy. But pop and cute.
Yeah, there you go.
You would do well to remain strong. Where is this place? I seem to remember it somehow. I think it reminds me of the scenery from a strange dream I once had. Then, this must be another dream. I was there under an arbor surrounded by a golden rose garden, and 2 witches in white and red dresses were showering words of encouragement upon me. You can be sure that those rumor-mongering young servants are embellishing the story however they please. So, he has changed his name, they say? Surely this can be nothing more than a family quarrel. Thank you. I wish I could believe that.
Of course it's true. He's a boy after all. You can hardly be surprised that he's had a few arguments with his dad.
Precisely, as you say. Clearly, they will make it up to each other once they cool their heads.
When men argue, it's always fiery at first, but they burn out pretty quickly.
In contrast, an argument between women burns like a steady flame, but the fuel never goes dry. Men's arguments are fierce but short. Quick and easy. You're right. I hope Battler-san and Rudolph-sama make up soon. Oh, they will. Haven't you heard Battler mentioning it all the time? He always fights with his father. This is just another of those fights. The death of his mother and his father's remarriage have merely upset him.
It sounds as though he's gone to live with his mother's parents, but after he's cooled off his head for a few days, he'll come back. It's like a kid running away from home, see?
The 2 witches kept saying that Battler's fight hadn't been anything huge. If it had been a mere family quarrel, the rumors wouldn't have started in the first place. Taking an optimistic view here isn't likely to prove useful. Either way, this is a problem between Battler and his father. If you're patient, time will heal all wounds. There's no point in you feeling bad over it.
Because Battler happened to be absent today doesn't mean we can be sure he'll never come back. All this means is that Rudolph came alone today.
True. Of course he will be at the next family conference, as energetic as ever. By then, Rudolph will probably bring that Kyrie here too. Battler may be sulky about it, but I am certain that he will come as well. You're right, yeah. I'm sure you're right. How nice would it be if they were right? In fact, if I could, I'd like to flip through the calendar until autumn right now and check whether he does come to the next conference. If he does, then all of my fears are groundless. It would mean the rumor-mongering family members and servants have just blown things out of proportion. If Battler-san was right here, I'd want to question him right away. Hey, it isn't true that you'll never come to Rokkenjima again, right? And then, if he said that of course he would come again, it would be such a relief. I don't know the phone number for Rudolph-sama's house, but I could probably look it up if I tried. However, as a servant of the family, I have no excuse for making such a call. And anyway, I have no way of knowing the phone number for Battler's grandparents' house. I can't do anything except wait for Rudolph-sama's family to come visit and hope that my fears are groundless.
One other thing that occurred to me, I'm sorry to interrupt, is that if Shannon's motivation for committing the murders is related to her solving the epitaph, then necessarily she isn't involved in its creation.
Yeah.
I guess we had always kind of assumed that that would be coming out of the KDA, right? Because they would be the only people that knew enough to be like, oh yeah, Kinzo is not in any position to argue if we put up something like this. So where did it come from then? I guess we have to be wrong about that. Huh. Anyway.
I kind of didn't figure the KDA had, but I kind of figured Shannon had.
Or like not as a unit, but someone in that group.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't mean to say they're acting as a unit, but like someone in that group.
But it would seem that I was quite wrong if this is true.
Yeah. All right. Anyway.
However, will I be able to make it through the day feeling like this? No way. I doubt I'll sleep a wink tonight. Just waiting around feeling like this when I don't know when my next chance will come. I can't do that. Will it be next month? Or the month after? In the worst case, I might have to wait until the next family conference. And I have to wait that long, while holding back this suffocating feeling. I can't bear it.
Hey, Shannon. Sorry to ask this out of the blue, but when you made up your mind to do something by the next year, that something wasn't just quitting work as a servant on the island, right?
That... I made the decision to start a new life. I didn't want to keep on being a servant by force of habit. I made the decision to step into a new life and to leave my old life as a servant behind.
But now she can't do that because if she does, then she'll have no way of reconnecting with Battler.
Yep.
In case he does come back. So now she's put the entire rest of her life on hold.
And Battler promised he'd come here on the day of your decision, right?
Yes. Tact is not one of my strong points. Little known fact. So,
No, you don't say. Really? You could have fooled me.
So I shall speak frankly.
What does Banto's stat sheet look like?
Tact 0, gold yes, murder 1,000. You made the decision and resolved yourself to starting a new life with Battler, correct? A new life with Battler-san. You are afraid that Battler will not come for you on the day of your decision. However, there is more to that day of decision than just Battler coming to see you.
It's also the day for you to show that you're determined to spend the rest of your life with him.
This determination is something you must create for yourself. It won't bear fruit simply because Battler shows up.
Shannon, do you now have the determination to spend the rest of your life with him? You decided to put it off until the next family conference because you didn't have that determination last time, right?
What does it mean to live life with Battler? Have you ever thought seriously about it in detail? Well, as long as I'm working as a servant on Rokkenjima, my opportunities for meeting him are limited. We're both underage, so it's too early to talk about marriage. However, if I quit working as a servant, I should have many more opportunities to meet him. Once I quit work here, I'll return to the Fukuin house. I have my wages from serving the family, so I should have more than enough to travel to Battler-san's house to play.
It's so weird hearing her discuss it like this because she's like both a kid and acting and with some of the responsibilities of an adult.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, like I have to keep reminding myself like, no. You are too fucking young to be thinking like this.
You are, what, 13 at the moment?
Yeah, you are too young to be thinking about your life financially like this, and you are too young to be thinking about the rest of your future like this.
But unfortunately, the Ushiromi has happened to you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, welp.
And when I graduate from school, I can rent an apartment near Battler-san's house. Then, well, I can work while going to school. That life would be a lot more difficult than I first thought. However, I'd be able to see Battler-san much, much more often. If not every day, then every week. I won't be a servant anymore, so there won't be any difference in class. I can call him whenever I want. And I'm already doing both school and work. Thanks to my experience here, I know more than enough to do simple housework. Doesn't that sound like a fun life? You can rent a humble abode, and once you've built up your own home, you can invite Battler over.
Yeah, you can get your own home. You can work your way up and steadily save enough money and buy a house someday. Isn't that wonderful?
I'm sure glad that's possible without needing the endless magic.
And then the time you spend together, the word two of you make will begin. Doesn't that sound wonderful?
Yes, it does sound a bit wonderful. This was the first time I had ever imagined that future clearly. My love for him and my honest desire to live my life with him. Earlier, I was able to consider both of these deeply. However, now that I'm clearly imagining the future I plan to choose, I finally understand. I must be aware of how much determination will be needed to reach that future.
You dream of marriage eventually, don't you?
Oh, girls these days, dating with marriage in mind at such a young age. Well, that's a bit,
Getting embarrassed by her own headmates. No bully.
You're bullying yourself. What does that say about you, kid? Don't deny your dreams, okay? Don't let your memes be dreams. There's no point in taking a first step if your eyes are closed and you don't look to the future.
If a girl's in love with a man, there's nothing wrong with thinking, I want to marry him. That's a young girl's natural right. My face had turned bright red. Earlier, I thought that considering marriage really was a bit premature, so I tried as best I could not to think about it. However, when the witches encouraged me to imagine it, that image was both exciting and vivid. I felt an indescribable feeling of refreshment and awakening, like the gentle breeze that washes over you when you go outside during a brief spot of sunshine on a rainy day. That's right. I didn't actually have the determination to go that far. I need to strengthen my determination by the time the next family conference comes around. If I can't do that, then sticking around as a servant on this island is no more than I deserve.
And at the same time, this is also a trial.
True. A trial to be overcome. A trial? Why? Did I do something illegal?
No, you're too straight for that.
Wait. No, Shannon is definitely one of the queer characters in this game. What am I saying?
Fool. Battler promised that he would come for you at the next family conference, did he not?
He said he'd come on a white horse, right?
Yes.
Any word on how he get the horse onto the island? Do horses like being on boats?
Probably.
We should look that up.
You're thinking that Battler will not come anymore. In other words, you have no faith in Battler's promise.
That's why this is a trial. To pass through this trial, you'll have to show that you can trust him and wait.
A trial? I hadn't thought of it that way. Since he promised to come for me in a year, then I need to believe that he'll come for me in a year. If I doubt that, I don't have the right to wait for him in the first place. I sure hope this doesn't have awful consequences for me.
Oh, I sure wonder what's happening on the island right now.
Noted lady killer, Ushiromiya battler.
Ladies. Or dudes. Could go either way.
In fact, Battler might have left the Ushiromiya family because he's set his sights on a future with you.
Oh, why would that be?
If he knows that you will live together and eventually exchange marriage vows, having the name Ushiromiya would cause problems since Shannon is a servant of the Ushiromiya family.
Oh, I see. He realizes that there'll be all kinds of trouble if he decides to marry a servant girl, so he's abandoned the Ushiromiya name beforehand.
What do you think, Shannon? That way, everything makes sense. Battler has abandoned the Ushiromiya name for your sake. This sudden argument with Rudolph was just an excuse. Why don't we keep building up this elaborate headcanon about this event until it gets just even more maladjusted?
You know that thing where this is the personification of that thing where you get worried over something and you keep running the conversations over and over and over in your head.
Yeah.
And then like you just do the thing and it's not at all what you imagined it to be like.
Yep.
This is like that, but like 1,000 times worse.
What splendid reasoning. Nice going, Richa. High five. Got him.
What do you say, Shannon? There's no reason to feel down. On the contrary, it's as though Battler has shown his determination first. I'm in danger.
No, I think you're pretty safe. It's everyone else.
Oh, that's nice. A smile had returned to my face. Of course, I hadn't taken the witches seriously and let myself be reassured. It was closer to the opposite. It was almost funny that they could think up such ridiculously convenient explanations for everything. However, they had made all of these ridiculous theories to cheer me up.
Shannon is cheered up by ridiculous theories. Noted. Noted.
The witches are right when they say that I must trust Battler-san, and that there's no point moping about just because I've heard a few rumors. Until the next family conference, I intend to strengthen my resolve. And I believe that he'll accept my feelings and come for me. The idea that Battler left the family so that he could be married to me someday was laughable, of course. But right now I should try and feel confident enough to accept even crazy ideas like that. Thanks so much. I feel a little better now. That is well. I cannot stand watching you cry yourself to sleep. Thanks for coming into my dreams to encourage me. Indeed, it will be morning soon. This is all a dream. You won't remember any of it when you wake. However, your heart will be at peace. Yes, I'll believe in him and wait. Wait and hope. So I won't listen to every little rumor.
Good reference.
Very good. Wait until the next conference while improving yourself. If you think of it as training to become a wife, all of your everyday chores will grow more meaningful. Thanks a lot.
Richa, it'll be morning soon.
Is that so?
In a few hours, the sun will be up.
Then so long, Shannon. You may not remember me, but I will always be by your side, watching over you. Thank you. Yes, thank you. The next family conference will be here in a flash. Wait for it at your leisure. Battler will certainly keep his promise.
I hope everything is. I hope that doesn't go back to haunt me.
Oh, time skip.
5 years until the incident.
Pleased to meet you, everyone. My name is Kyrie. I hope we can all become quick friends. Quick friends. Friends quick. I've known your name longer than I've known Asumu-san's. I hear you're Rudolph's old girlfriend. Well, yes, we've known each other for quite a long time.
Welcome to the Ushiromiya family. I hope you find it easy to grow comfortable here.
Yes, I'd like to go comfortable quickly so that I can support my husband.
But look at how cute that little girl is.
Beep,
What's her name?
beep.
I assume that's what Tiny Angie sounds like.
This is Angie-chan. What a cute name.
So, you two couldn't make up after all. Well, this would be the perfect chance to bring him back, but he's as stubborn as Dad.
Will Battler-kun ever come back? I'll miss him. Nothing wrong with a man having enough backbone to find his own way in the world. I'm sure he'll have made it big by the time he comes back.
You think so? Right now, Battler-kun's home isn't home for him. The place he comes home to is somewhere else now.
Enough! It concerns Rudolph's family only. It is not our place to meddle.
Thank you, Kraus-Nissan. This is an issue for our family alone. However, I intend to do all I can to see that Battler-kun and Rudolph-san can live together again someday. After all, he's Angie's one and only big brother.
Yep. When that kid gets stuck on something, anything you say to him will have the opposite effect. Asumu's father is a bit of a short temper. Looks like he's been adding fuel to the fire.
It'll be okay. I'm sure he'll understand your feelings before too long.
We can't do anything except cheer you on.
This is probably me.
There
We
you go.
can't do anything except cheer you on. Even if he don't come back, we're all praying that the two of you will make up quickly. It's a bit boring without Battler. Yeah, I hope he and Uncle Rudolph can make up soon. Thinking about how Battler-sama feels, it must have hurt. His family basically got swapped around. It probably doesn't feel comfortable at home anymore. All men need to go out on their own one day or another. It might just be that Battler-kun's time has come. Do you think so? I do. It's not cool for a guy to hang around at his parents for too long. You gotta leave the nest in a flurry and make your name in the world. I plan to do that eventually, but it looks like he's gone and done it first. And when he makes his name in the world and becomes a great man, will he come back? It may be that he never comes back. After all, this might be leaving the nest to him. Leaving the nest.
It's like, what, 13-ish? Around this time?
Yeah. Battler didn't come, did he? Oh, how terrible. And I kept telling Shannon that he was sure to come. I'm sure she's very upset over Battler's absence. And it's all because I got her hopes up.
She's been looking forward to this day. Pains me to think of how she must feel.
Thanks, you two. I'm okay. I'm totally fine. Don't even worry about it.
I am completely collected in my lane.
This is a Tuesday for me. I had been reunited with the witches once again in that dream world, though I could never remember anything during the day. Now that I was in the dream world, I somehow knew that this was a reunion. The witches both looked apologetic, though they had tried to cheer me up by saying that Battler would come someday. Now that he hadn't come, it was like they'd been lying, and they seemed to regret it heavily. Shannon, well... Thanks for your concern. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't sad, but I'll be okay. Are you sure? Really sure? That would be splendid, but...
Clearly, Battler's fight was so over the top that he couldn't bring himself back down so soon. Men are so stubborn.
Yes, that is true. He tried to act tough before running away, so his stubbornness is preventing him from taking back what he said so easily. He'll probably regret not coming today. Yes, that must be it. For some reason, they seemed nearly desperate in their attempts to encourage me. It was almost funny to watch. I couldn't help but giggle.
Teehee.
Thanks a lot, both of you. After all, you're the ones who told me in the first place that this is a test, a trial to be overcome. The truth was, I couldn't really fool myself so easily. When will he come back? When will he come for me? When isn't the question. Will he come for me ever? If I start moping right now, the uncertainty and sadness will probably tear me apart. But they've taught me. This is a trial to see whether I really believe in him or not. The very fact that I feel uncertain and anxious is a betrayal of my resolve, and of his promise to come for me someday. George-sama said something about it. He said this might be the same as leaving the nest for Battler-san.
That's right. This is his chance to leave behind the Ushiromiya name and spread his wings as his own man.
If you really think about it, we're still very young. Even if we want to be tied together, we're still lacking many years of social experience and trust. If Battler-san is really and truly taking this seriously, then it's too soon for him to come for me now. Well done. Yes, that's the right attitude.
Okay, hold on. Shannon solving the riddle of the epitaph is what causes this to happen.
It said that Shannon solving the riddle is how she became a full witch,
Okay.
I think.
We know it's not her that put it up. I'd have a weird time finding a motivation for Kraus or Natsuhi to do it. But what if Genji put it up? Realizing that the young servant that he knew to be Kinzo's grandchild enjoyed mysteries and stuff like that as a way for them to figure out that, for them to learn that they were Kinzo's grandchild in their own time.
That's smart. You're smart.
What if that is the solution? The solution is just a result that tells you that, oh, hey, guess what? You're Kinzo's grandchild. That revelation would probably be enough.
Yeah. You have done well to reach this understanding. I haven't reached anything. However, I've decided to think of it that way for now. This is a trial to see whether I trust Battler-san or not. If he had come today, then today I would have had to tell Madam that I wanted to quit my job as a servant. However, was I really prepared to do that? Last night I kept worrying about whether Battler-san would come or not. Thanks to that, not only did I not have the resolve to quit my job, I hadn't even started on the paperwork to do so.
You don't need paperwork to quit your job. All you need is a fist. Do not take job advice from me, please.
In short, I still don't have the determination that I promised him that day. I'm sure that God knew that. Battler will come for me when I've found my determination. I wasn't determined, so it's only natural that he didn't come today. I'm sure this pattern of thinking is not going to create
She keeps
serious
talking about
problems.
how, like, obviously she didn't take this to heart or anything, but, like, you sure about that? You sure that's a fact?
Yeah, it all makes sense now. So, I'm sure Battler-san didn't come today because I wasn't determined enough. It's only natural since I couldn't even truly believe that he would come. I'm sure Battler was the same way. He did not yet have the determination and resolve to come for you.
God is not heartless. When your feelings truly do draw close, I'm sure they'll bring the two of you together.
Just like Orihime and Hikoboshi.
I don't remember the story with those two.
Yeah, legend lovers get separated, end up in the sky as stars or something. I don't remember it very well.
I remember it's something that's come up in other things before. And
Always.
the specifics of it never stick with me.
Didn't it fucking come up in Steins Gate My Darling's Embrace for us most recently?
I think it did, and then we just... See, the thing is, like, it's one of those things where like, you learn it, and then it's like, and now it's gone.
Wasn't Mayushi calling Okabe her Hikoboshi or
Yeah,
something?
she was. Okay, but so a pair of lovers. That's the salient part here.
Yes, it's as though the weather just happened to be bad during this year's Tanabata.
Oh, the ones that can only be meet that one time.
Tanabata.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, yeah.
Keeping those lovers apart for another year. That's how I'd like to think about what happened today. That's how I'd like to think about it. I have no other choice. Battler song.
Yo!
But Battler-kun didn't come back for...
6 years. Still a long way to go until then.
So you had to wait 6 whole years feeling like that? When one waits every year for something to happen the next, and the same thing the next year, and the next, it becomes the same as waiting for an eternity.
Pretty pathetic, don't you think? After all, this promise you thought you made with Battler seems to be something he knew nothing about, right?
Battler-kun does tend to use melodramatic phrases just like Uncle Rudolph. His roundabout way of putting things might have led to a misunderstanding.
Some girl's gonna stab Battler in the back someday. Well, I guess that's more or less what this tale is, right?
Actually, I was thinking about stabbing him in the front.
What? Hello? What? When a person can mean different things, they can turn a person's life... Well, my bad. When words can mean different things, they can turn a person's life upside down.
When words can mean different things, they can turn a person's life upside down. Okay.
There are times when careless talk costs lives.
Man, what a beefy episode that was.
Yeah.
2 hours. We'll see you on Monday. I got it right this time.
Yeah!
Last Friday episode, I said we'll see you on Friday again. I'm good at this shit.
We did.
I guess.
And we will.
I mean, sure. Fine. See you all then, everyone.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.